Pricing and price reductions, okay? Without question, this is something that we're already seeing. We're seeing in our market, markets across Michigan, not all markets in Michigan, but of course, markets across the country. We're seeing this drastically happening in Ontario and British Columbia for our Canadian friends. We're seeing this happen in the southern part of our country. We're seeing this happen on the west coast of our country. We're seeing this happen in some parts on the east coast. Price reductions and pricing are a real thing. And so we decided for this particular retreat that we would do a live, it's a live, but it's a mock with two of our coaches who, without question, both are in production and understand production and understand what sellers are saying and how they're resisting to our pricing conversation. So in a moment, I'm going to do a live price reduction call, even though we're going to be up here on stage. The reason why we're separated is because when you're role-playing a phone script, you should never be facing each other. You either should, if you're in the same room, you should be back to back. Or if it's a phone script, you just pick up the phone and call somebody. So we won't be making eye contact because I wouldn't be able to see their emotion. I wouldn't be able to see their eye contact, their facial expressions if I was on the phone. So we're going to be facing forward, but act as if I've got a phone in my hand talking to them. While I go through the pricing reduction presentation, there's going to be several dialogues that I'm spitting, if you will. And when we're done, I will go back and make sure to point them out in case you miss them because I went too fast. I'm going to have time to go through and point a few of what I would consider the most important ones out. So right now, if you want to obviously get yourself to a clean sheet of paper because you're going to want to write as fast as you can as I'm going through this presentation. And as I said at the end, I'll point out and I'll repeat the things that I thought were most important. While you're doing that, please join me in welcoming to the stage Coach Lee Rosa and Jackie Bowman. You guys ready to be those sellers?
Oh, we are ready.
Absolutely.
Okay. I got a feeling these two are not going to make it easy on me. So really, just to set the tone here, all they know is what they have notes of essentially what we're listed at, where they're moving to, a little bit about their motivation. Well, you're going to hear a little bit about their motivation. Actually, I didn't give you guys a motivation. I'm sorry, I forgot that. But just share with me, and then I'll dig deeper on that. I mean, I know where you're moving to, but I want you to understand that this is as real as it gets. When I've got a listing that's been sitting on the market, usually about 10 days is when I make the first call to suggest that they adjust their price. And so I'm going to have my laptop up in front of me because you never make a price reduction call anywhere other than sitting at a desk with your MLS up in front of you. And the reason for that is because oftentimes a seller will bring up, well, what about this house? Or what about this house? Or what about that? And you're dead in the water if you don't know about that listing or whatever it is they're talking about. So I always have the MLS up in front of me with the most recent activity. So we're going to go ahead and jump in. So, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, Lee.
That's me.
Hey, Lee, it's Jeff Glover. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you, Jeff?
Real good. Well, hey, listen, I'm reaching out to you because as I promised you at the table about a week and a half or so ago when we first met, that I would be calling you and giving you a market update of what's taking place in the market and what we need to do moving forward. Is that fair?
Yeah. Can you hold on a second? Can I bring Jackie on over?
Yeah. Yep. I'm sorry. I was assuming she was right there with you. So yeah, please do so.
Awesome. Thank you.
I'm here.
Hey, Jackie. How you doing?
Good.
All right. Good. So we're both on speaker. By the way, thank you for doing that, Lee, because I always want to do this with both parties present if possible. Okay. So Jackie, Lee, as you guys know, we've been out there for 10 days. We've had 6 showings. No offers yet, but 6 showings is pretty good. We've been listed out there at $425, which is the price we picked at the time of listing. Mm-hmm. So far, as you know, you've been seeing the feedback coming in. A lot of people are not in love with the size of the lot, which I know there's not a lot we can do to change the size of the lot, but I do have some ideas to help them, fall more in love and maybe accept a smaller lot. And I wanted to refresh your memory when we met at that home. You might remember I shared with you there's one of three things that will happen when we list your home. Do you remember that?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. It was on the way out. I mentioned to you that after we're on the market for about 7 to 10 days, we'll have a pretty good idea of what the home is worth and how buyers are going to respond to the price. Remember I said one of three things could happen?
We're listening.
Yeah, okay, good. I'll refresh your memory on those. So one thing could happen is we could get a lot of interest and a lot of offers, and that means we did everything right. Unfortunately, we're not in that position right now, but that was one potential outcome, and that didn't happen. The second potential outcome that we talked about 10 days ago was that we could get some interest, a handful of showings, but maybe a lowball offer or no offers at all. And that's where I kind of believe we are right now. And then the third option was we get little to no interest and certainly no offers, and that means we definitely started too high. So the good news is we're not in that boat because we have 6 people that wanted to see your house. And from what I'm seeing, if 6 people are coming through, they're giving us that feedback, and they're not making an offer, then what they're telling us, Jackie and Lee, is that it's not valuable enough to them to do so. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, it's been 10 days. So I think 6 showings is really, really good for our market for 10 days.
When we would leave, they were a lot of high energy. I mean, I mean, is none of them want to write an offer?
Yeah. At this point, none of the 6 buyers are writing an offer right now. There are a few things that we can do to maybe trigger that. Are you open to that conversation?
Well, before we go there, did you follow up with the agents? Did you ask them, like, other than the yard, I mean, was there any other feedback? Or
without question. Yep. Every single agent has been contacted. We've asked them for their feedback, which we've shared with you, and I have some suggestions of what I think it can take to either get 1 or 2 of those buyers to come back and or find us a new buyer altogether. Are you open to that conversation?
I mean, yeah. I mean, our goal is to get down to South Florida, so we're all ears.
Yep. All right. So based on what I'm seeing so far, and you guys know I study homes and prices every day, and we had the conversation. Prices are fluid. Based on what I'm seeing so far, in order to get one of those 6 buyers to come back or perhaps attract a new buyer, I really think we need to get down to that $400,000 price point. Now, I know that's $25,000 less than we're at right now, and I know this sounds backwards, but you actually have a better chance of getting 4.25 for your home by pricing it at $400,000 than you do keeping it at $425,000. So let me ask you a question. Would you be open to adjusting the price to $400,000 so we can make the listing more attractive to not only these 6 buyers, but to the other buyers that are out there that don't know your home is for sale yet?
I don't know.
Jeff, we just can't do that.
I'm sorry?
We can't do 400.
I mean, we've invested a ton in this house, Jeff.
Yeah, no, I think the good news is you guys have definitely got it very ready for sale. The feedback about the actual house itself has been great, other than people think that the lot is too small. And what happens after about 10 days of being on the market is the market tells us what the home is actually worth. And they tell us that with an offer or without an offer. And what the buyers are essentially saying is if 6 of these buyers came and looked at the home and they're not willing to write an offer on it, then they're telling us it's priced too high. So unless you want to become a stale listing, I'm going to suggest that we get this adjusted sooner rather than later.
And what number was that again?
I'm suggesting we go to $400,000. And can I explain why?
I mean, sure.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'm suggesting $400,000 because when I look at the most popular searched price range in your area here in Northville, it's between $300,000 and $400,000. Which means if we're $1 over $400,000, if we're 401, we won't even show up in their search. And so my fear is we're just outside of that most popular searched price point, and most of the buyers looking to buy in Northville don't even know your home's for sale. So if we can get it to $400,000, we actually have a decent chance of still getting you a number with a 4 in front of it. Because what we know is buyers will buy and make offers based on value. And if they haven't made an offer yet, then they're telling us that the value of the property does not match the price we're asking. Does that make sense?
It does.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I know when we talked at the listing, we were wanting to price at 450, and now you're saying, you know, you want to put us in the category of between 300,000 and 400,000, and our house in Northville is just not in that 300 to 400,000 range. It's in the over 400 range. So that's why I'm confused at why we're trying to go into a lower bracket.
Yeah, well, one of the reasons is because if we have a deficit, in this case, we're one of the smallest lots in the neighborhood. The way you overcome that deficit is by making the price more attractive. So what we need to have happen is we need a buyer who's looking between 300,000 and 400,000 to say, wow, I cannot believe this price. I cannot believe this place is priced at 400,000. I'm gonna go after that house, and I'm gonna even give them more than asking. Because what's happening right now is the buyers that are looking at your home at 4.25, they're also looking at homes at 450, 475, 499.9, up to 500. And once you get up to 450 or 475, you're looking at walkout basements. You're looking at full kitchens in the backyard. We just can't compete with those homes. And right now, we are competing with those properties. We need to compete with the lower price properties, not the higher price properties. Does that make sense?
It does, Jeff. I hear you, but I mean, Jackie and I talked, and we want no less than 415.
Yeah.
I mean, when we looked at the sheet that you left with us when we took the listing, and we were just doing the math after a couple days, 415 is kind of where we feel is the lowest that we can go.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. When you go, I know you're moving to South Florida, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you move to South Florida, when you go shop for homes, because you don't have a place down there yet, right?
Correct.
When you go to South Florida and you shop for homes, if you make an offer on a property, are you going to make an offer on a property based on what the seller feels like they need or what the home is actually worth?
I mean, obviously what the home is worth. I mean, if someone's asking 500 for something that's worth 4,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah.
we're not going to offer them 5.
I mean, absolutely. I mean,
And then, so with that said, don't you think that most buyers are going to feel just like you?
when you put it
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
Yeah.
So, with your permission, I would like to get it dropped to 400,000 immediately. I mean, I can get it done today, right before the weekend. It's gonna get out there on all of the social media channels as a new attractive price. The marketing is gonna fire back up at 400,000, and we're gonna head into the weekend as if it's a brand new listing. And I really think that's gonna put you in the best position to get out of here with more money in your pocket and get to South Florida as fast as you want. Does that sound good?
Jeff, I trust you. I want to trust you. And I mean, Lee and I are going to have to talk because, I mean, financially, 415 was the lowest we were planning on. And right now, I mean, even if you are right, there's just no way we can do that.
Like, no way.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind me asking, when you say there's no way you can do that, is it an affordability thing? Is it a cash position you're in? What does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, we have enough in savings that we would be able to make it happen at 415, but just not sure about the 400.
So
I mean, we weren't expecting this at all.
Yeah. So you're taking into consideration, obviously, the equity that you have, plus what you're going to need to put down in the next place, and figuring out
Right.
your math there. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So does that mean then, if nobody shows up and gives you 415, you're going to cancel the plans to move to South Florida?
We got it. We're moving, right?
I mean, no, we definitely, I mean, Lee has to be by the beach. So, I mean, if we want to stay married, he has to be by the beach. So,
Can I ask you a question? Is it possible that maybe you could look at sacrificing a few things on the property in South Florida so that way you can get to an attractive price that will allow you to get down there?
I mean, we have a lot to talk about because, yeah, I mean, I suppose we could reconsider. I just feel like this has been 10 days. This is just so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I understand that. And Jackie, do I have your permission to be upfront and honest with you about something?
Sure, please.
It's my job to tell you the truth. You do want the truth, don't you?
Absolutely.
The truth is, the longer your home stays on the market at 425, the less you're going to be able to put in your pocket, because days on market is the enemy to your home's value. May I explain?
Yeah, please.
Please.
So when you bought this house, do you remember ever looking at things like the seller's disclosure report? Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you remember looking at like maybe the history of the listing and trying to do a little bit of research on it before you made your offer?
Yeah.
Yeah. By chance, did you consider at all how long the home had been on the market before you bought it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that of curiosity to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we asked what the price was and how long it had been on the market.
And why was it important for you to know how long the home had been on the market?
Because I think the longer it was on, the better we thought we could negotiate with the seller.
The longer it's on the market, the better of a deal that you can get. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you move to Florida, when you move to South Florida, are you going to do that again? Are you going to look at days on market and maybe consider a lower offer because of the days on market?
Yeah.
Probably.
And don't you feel most buyers are going to think just like you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you hired me to tell you the truth, and I would not be doing my job. In fact, Jackie, Lee, I would be doing you an absolute disservice if we kept your home on the market for any more days at this price. So with your permission, I would like to get it adjusted before the weekend. Would you be open to that?
What do you think?
I mean,
I'm sorry, are you still there?
Yeah. We really need the 415.
Right.
We can't.
Right.
This is
mean,
common.
we
were
I
talking
often
about
hear the sellers
the
chatting and not
numbers
letting me hear.
that we need, so let them know.
I mean, financially, we planned on 415, Jeff. I don't think right now on the phone we can give you an answer.
Okay. So then, if you don't mind me asking, if I had a buyer, forget about over the phone, if I had a buyer right now, shows up to your front porch, a suitcase full of $400,000 cash, are you telling me you would tell them to get off your porch?
What do you think? Good.
I mean, we'd have to figure something out.
Yeah, like we would probably have to go into our savings.
Yeah.
And by the way, I heard you mention savings. I know that, this market is not the same as it was 5 years ago, not the same as it was 3 years ago. And you hired me to tell you the truth, to help you accomplish your goal of getting to South Florida with the most amount of money in your pocket. And I'm giving you the advice, while it sounds backwards, to get to South Florida with the most amount of money in your pocket before your listing becomes stale.
Yeah, I can't believe we're losing money on a house. It's just hard.
That we have to bring money.
It's a different
For all the
market,
stuff
isn't
that we
it?
did for us to bring money to the table is
Yeah.
just, I just don't know what to say.
I mean, Jeff, would it make sense that we just adjust to 415 so that we don't have to bring the money to the table?
You could do that.
Just try it?
Yeah, you could certainly do that. And what I think would be happening, Lee and Jackie, is I think you would just end up delaying the inevitable. And in 10 days, in 15 days, we'd wind up back in this same spot. And what I'm concerned about is with what's happening in the market right now, what I'm concerned about is in 10, 15 days, at 415, 400 may not be an option anymore. Because now the home's been on the market for 30 days, and it looks like just a small drop from 415 to 400, and that is not going to be an attractive drop for buyers in the market today. My job is to make it attractive so that way it draws attention and causes someone to say, we need to go make an offer on this property before somebody else buys it up. So I would not do that. I think that actually puts you in a worse position. And I appreciate the question. I've seen this a lot.
I mean, this would get us the offer that then would allow us to move forward to South Florida. So what do you think?
I mean, based on what I'm looking at, if we go to the 400, we're going to have to bring 15 to 17K to the table.
Right.
But Jeff, I mean, if you think that's what we need to do, we'll have to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Listen, at the end of the day, I want you to be at a closing table, shaking hands with the buyers, excited about your plans and the amount of money that you put in your pocket. And I wouldn't be doing my job if I let you hang up without making this adjustment. So with your permission, I would like to make the adjustment by the end of the day today. Will you grant me that permission?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we have a choice.
We don't.
Babe.
Let's
Okay.
get to South Florida. Yeah, Jeff, let's do it.
Okay, hold on a second. Step out of the role play. Tell me we're not ready to do it. 415 is the lowest we can go right now.
All right, Jeff. Well, look, we looked at the 401k,
Yep.
looked at what we need to bring to the table, and
We're just not going to do it.
no, we're
Okay.
10 days on the market, Jeff. 415.
Yeah. So you're saying right now you're willing to grant me a reduction to 415,000, but no lower than that. Is that
Right,
what
that's
Yeah.
$10,000. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Here's what I'm going to do if it's all right with you guys. I'm going to respectfully decline that reduction, and I'm going to ask you to take the night to sleep on it. Because going to 415 is just delaying the inevitable, and I know we're going to be in a worse situation 10 to 14 days from now if we don't get it down to 400,000 now. So what I'm asking at this point is we're going to leave everything where it's at. I want you to just take the night to talk about it, to sleep on it, and I'm going to follow up with you in the morning. And at that point in time, let's not forget, this is your house. Mm-hmm. At that point in time, if you tell me 415 is all we can do, I'll do it.
Okay.
Or you may say, let's get to 400 so we can get to South Florida faster. I'll do that. But I don't want to do anything right now until you guys have had more time to chat about it. Is that fair?
That's absolutely
Yeah.
fair, and we can crunch some numbers ourselves. And you said
Yeah.
we'll talk tomorrow?
Yep, I'll give you a call back late tomorrow morning or early afternoon. So that way you guys have plenty of time, okay?
Sounds good. Jeff,
So-
we really appreciate the time. Thank you for
Listen, I
giving
wish
us
I
that
had better
space.
news for you. And the good news is we had 6 people interested. The better news is I might be able to get some of them back here if we make an adjustment soon. So let's chat tomorrow, and you guys have a good night, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Then we hang up. Okay, thank you. Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hi, Lee.
Jeff, how's it going?
Good, real good. I know you guys had a chance to talk, I'm sure, and I don't know if Jackie's there with you or not, but...
I am. I'm here.
Oh, good. Hey, Jackie, how are you? If you don't mind me asking, what are some things that you worked through last night after we got off the phone?
Well, we talked about what we want to accomplish, and really we definitely don't want to stay in Michigan. Mm-hmm. We need to be in Florida. We definitely want to be there, on the timeline that we talked about.
Yeah.
So, and we trust you. I mean,
Yeah.
if you think that 400 is where we need to be, but we cannot take a penny less than 400 because at the 400 we're actually going to have to withdraw from the 401k, which is not something that
I hate hearing that, and I
planned
know at
on.
the end of the day, when you're down there sipping Mai Tais or rum runners or whatever you guys do in South Florida, you probably won't be thinking about leaving a few bucks on the table when it's the middle of
Yeah.
winter here in Michigan, will you?
Yeah.
For sure.
So, yeah, if you can also just run us a new net sheet just so we know exactly where we're at, especially if you think this is going to help us, get an offer, we really need to know exactly where we sit.
Absolutely. I'm going to get it adjusted right away. We're going to restart all the marketing and get the word out about the new price. I'm very confident this is not only going to put more money in your pocket, but it's going to help you get to South Florida faster. Does that sound good?
It sounds good, Jeff. What should we expect next, though?
I'm sorry?
So you're going to adjust the price?
Oh, yeah.
What's the kind of the next step for us?
Lee, I want you to understand, we're doing everything to sell your home that we did for the other 8 listings that we've sold since we've listed your property. So what will happen next is more showings. More showings should lead to offers, and those offers should lead to an accepted sale. Does that sound fair?
Sounds
Yeah.
good to us.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, we'll get it taken care of right away. Thank you, guys. I look forward to getting this sold once and for all for you, okay?
Amen.
Sounds
All right,
good.
thanks so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye. Okay. So I was thinking to myself, they probably think that I'm reading, all right? Well, my laptop was black, but the reason why I have a laptop up here, because I was prepared for them to say, well, what about this listing, or what about that listing? And you have to be on it in that moment to say, yep, I had a chance to take a look at that before I called you. Or, yep, I'm looking at it right now. You have to be on it, because otherwise they're going to try to pin those other listings against you. So that's why we never do a price reduction call when we're on the road. We always have our MLS open and up in front of us. So I wanted to point out a couple things there. And first things first, Jackie, Lee, how did that feel from a standpoint of a seller?
It was very comfortable. You allowed us to vent when it was time to vent. You were full of empathy and connected, even though we shared things that are very challenging as an agent to digest at that moment, like having to dig into our savings to sell, and then keep giving back to you this price. Well, what about this price? And just you leading with the empathy, and then knowing deep in your heart what the right decision is versus the emotional one for us.
Yeah. Did you notice I was a little direct? This is a question to the audience. Did you notice that I was a little strong and direct with them? Yes? That is what sellers want. As weird as it may have seemed or felt, that is what sellers want. They want you to be strong with them. They don't want to tell you. They want you to tell them. And so when they resist, you saw, I continue to ask them questions, essentially give it right back to them. They want you to be stronger than them. They respect that. They're hiring you to sell their most valuable asset. Jackie, how about for you? What was that experience like?
I would say it was the same. I felt like there was a lot of information that you gave us to help us realize that as much as we want this or need this, and I think a lot of times it's that we need it for what we want to do, that didn't change where you were at.
That's right. Yeah. You sometimes have to remind them. I call it the need versus market script. The buyer doesn't care what you need. The buyer only cares what the market says. The buyer doesn't care how much you put in the home. The buyer only cares what the market says. And how you get them to understand that is you put them in the shoes of not the buyer who's looking at their home. You put on their buyer's shoes. All right, so let's fast forward. You get to Florida, you do this, you're gonna be shopping around. When they counter with the number and say to you, this is what the seller needs, it doesn't matter what the market says, or are you just gonna say, okay, or are you gonna have a challenge with that? Yes, you're gonna have a challenge with that. So always put them back in their own shoes as a buyer. The other couple things I wanted to point out from that presentation that I hope you wrote down is, you have to remind them of the one of three things will happen conversation to open it up. You leave the appointment with saying one of three things will happen. We're either going to get a lot of showings, a lot of interest, that means we did everything right. Or we're going to get some interest but no offers, and that means we started maybe a little high, but don't worry, we'll talk about this in 10 days. Or number three, worst case scenario, we get no interest, and that means we definitely started too high. Either way, we'll talk about which one of those three it ends up being after the home's been live for about 10 days. Does that sound fair? Yes, and then I get that confirmation as I'm walking out the door. Literally, my paperwork will be in one hand, and my hand will be on their door handle in the other when I'm delivering that script. It's the last thing I leave them with. So that way, when I call them for the first price reduction after 10 days, it's the first thing I open with. I want to refresh their memory of that. So make sure you're using that. You guys have heard the Days on Market enemy script multiple times. I've been sharing that for probably a decade now. Need versus market, we covered that. The better chance script, you might have heard that in there. You have a better chance of getting 4.25 for this house by getting it into a lower price bracket at 400,000 than you do right now at 4.25. And I always attach some examples to that. You heard me say because at 425, we're competing with homes that are 450, 475. They have walkout basements. They've got this, they've got that. We can't compete with those. That's the better chance script. Cash in a suitcase, I use that one all the time. All the time. So you mean to tell me if I had a buyer right now, cash, show up to your door, 400,000 large, they're ready to hand it to you. Would you kick them off your porch or would you take it? Almost always they say, well, when you put it that way.
That's when I caved.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. We would take it, but we don't want to price it at that. Obviously, you heard all that.
Right.
And then you heard at the end, this is a tactic. Well, you heard a couple takeaways in there. You heard me say, so if we could never get that number, does that mean you might consider canceling your plans to South Florida? I hope you caught that. Because if they're telling me that they need a number that I think is not possible, and they can't go a penny below it, then that means we need to start thinking about maybe finding just another home here in Michigan. Have you guys thought of that? And I would have went a little further on that if I felt like it needed that. And then finally, they're willing to give me the 415 before I stopped them and stepped out of the role play. They were willing to give me 415, but I wasn't accepting it. There's a lot of power in turning down a reduction. Because when you turn down a reduction and they take the night to sleep on it, oftentimes they're going to hang up the phone and say, he means business. Like, he's not even taking 415. Maybe we are the ones that are in the wrong here. And then they start talking, and oftentimes, I don't even need to wait till the next day, by the way. I'll get a text like an hour later. Hey, Jeff, we spoke. Go ahead with 400,000 starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
You were so precise with it where it's very easy to go down a rabbit trail of why 415, why the 10,000 adjustment from 425 to 415 in the seller's eyes is a lot. Yep. And we as agents can go down this rabbit hole of, well, percents and this, and you didn't do any of that. You just stayed on the
I'm the
facts.
expert. I've already done the research. I don't need to go into the stats or anything like that with you because I study homes and prices every day. I told you what was going to happen after 10 days when I left your home, and I followed up 10 days with the exact opening script that I left you with. Yeah. Okay. Any other final thoughts on the price reduction conversation that you want to leave the audience with?
No, I think we did good.
We covered it all.
Yeah.
This is great.
Awesome. Let's hear it for our coaches, Lee and Jackie. Thank you.